Adrian Peterson set numerous records for the Minnesota Vikings. Was arrested 4 hours ago and for DUI, or they're driving while intoxicated. They're just driving under the influence, and also unlawful weapons possession. It's his second time this year he's gotten arrested for DUI, and but not the first year he's been in legal trouble. And I, I've always Adrian's made a lot of money over the years, but for some particular reason, he's always gotten himself in the situations where he's conducted himself as if he didn't have the ability to afford somebody to look out for him, to drive him where he needs to go, to pick him up, or for that matter, use part of his money to buy his own nightclub or a bar where he can, as owner, you know, be there and have people look out for him, uh, rather than being arrested for acting up in somebody else's place. I can go on and on and on about that. Um, you would say, isn't he in the NFL Hall of Fame right now? And the answer is no. He's Hall of Fame eligible in 2027. My fear is, unless someone connected with the league doesn't get a hold of him soon, he's going to literally get himself arrested out of eligibility if such a thing is possible. Now, on paper, it's not, but when you get into a room with all of him uh, committee members, when they have a favorite other person to be admitted to the hall, then Adrian Peterson, you can bet your bippies they're going to bring this matter up and another and another and another, and say, well, he hasn't been the greatest ambassador for the league yet. This person has, whoever this person may turn out to be. Um, and now, given Adrian's records, that argument would be hard. It would be a hard one to maintain because the man has racked up an incredible career, stock chock full of superlatives. Consider 2012 most valuable player. He rushed for 2,097 yards, earning the league's MVP award, and he's the last non quarterback to achieve this. And the last. He led the NFL in rushing three times and finished his career with 14,918 yards. Wow, that places him fifth all time, fifth all time, five. Okay, fifth. He is fourth in career rushing touchdowns. He's been in the Pro Bowl seven times and was named first team All Pro four times. Okay, that's incredible. That is unquestionably Hall of Fame worthy. So the next question is, okay, who would be eligible that has numbers as good as Adrian Peterson's? And right now, my answer is I have no freaking idea off the top of my head because everybody else I can think of is already in there. Let's just check that regarding uh, fifth all time in terms of rushing yards. And like from over at Substack, a guy I've never heard of named Joel Zugag wrote this year. He wrote, "No waiting. Peterson should be headed to Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility." Here, in the argument he makes, here's the article that I'm reading right here for you. Excuse me, right there. That's the title of it right here. Okay, no waiting. Adrian Peterson should be headed to Hall in first year of eligibility. All right, and the argument this gentleman makes reads as follows. He says that the uh, after talking about Jared Allen and others, he says Adrian Peterson will be eligible in 2027, as I've said, and he says that he would join a list that includes receiver Antonio Brown, cornerback Richard Sherman, tight end Rob Gronkowski, offensive tackle Andre Whitworth, and quarterbacks Ben Roethlisberger and Cam Newton. Um, and that's the people on the list right now. That's not the final, right? Um, I can make a case for all of them. You can really make a case for Cam. You can really make a case, of course, for Ben Roethlisberger. Uh, You can Antonio Brown. I can make a case for Antonio, but then of course there is that, right? Richard Sherman, shoe in, and Rob Gronkowski. Yeah, absolute. Okay, definitely. Um, Judd says Peterson, the seventh pick in the 2007 NFL draft by the Vikings. By the way, I was there having an interview with Adrian Peterson, as well as Jamarcus Russell, Zenny here at Zenny62 YouTube. Says ranks fifth all time in the NFL in rushing yards with 14,918 yards on 3,230 attempts and 120 touchdowns. He is the Vikings all-time leader in rushing yards, 11,747, 2,418 attempts, 97 touchdowns, and a whopping 95.5 yards per game. And Judd says, how dominant was Peterson? He accumulated 4,929 more yards on the ground than Robert Smith, who previously held the Vikings mark. He writes, if the history of voting by the Hall of Fame Selection Committee is any indication, Peterson is going to be elected in his first year of eligibility. 3 of the 4 running backs ahead of Peterson on the rushing list, Emmitt Smith first, Walter Payton second, and Barry Sanders fourth, were all elected the first year became eligible. That, when you're in that company, you're automatic. Okay, there's no question about it. Automatic. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We have to get some help for this man, right? We cannot have Adrian Peterson going into his twilight years getting into trouble like this. He needs our help as an NFL community of fans, reporters, owners, coaches, alumni. And we all need to come together to help Adrian Peterson get his act together. Um, However we do it, just advocating for it, like I'm doing right now, right? Because this man is NFL royalty, and he should be thought of as such and treated as such, even if he might not think of himself as such right now. I guarantee you, if he gets in the hall, if he gets that call, I believe he will get better. We have to get him to that point. It's not law at all. Then he goes on to write that Peterson led the rushing NFL in rushing 3 times, as I've noted, including 2012 when he became the seventh player, just the seventh player in league history to top 2,000 yards rushing. And he averaged 131.1 yards a game that year, turned MVP honors quite rightly. And that came after he tore his ACL and his MCL in his left knee on a Christmas Eve game in Washington in 2011. Peterson, again, is the last non-quarterback to win MVP. Again, Pro Bowl 4 times, second team twice, and was elected to 7 Pro Bowls. All right. This man, and I'm honored to say, absolutely honored to say that I was able to be in the room at the draft and then at Chelsea Piers uh, when he was introduced to the NFL. And I mean, quite a blessing. Quite a blessing to be a part of that, of all of that, and to see the young man, come forward and into NFL glory. Uh, and you just want him to have those years and stay there. In fact, here is Adrian Peterson right here. As I speak of him, I'll show you the video. I'm calling up right now. And see if I can put it on full screen here on my computer, and it's coming up in a few seconds. There it is. Okay, here we go, right here. Working on a couple of videos, but what do you think it'll be like when you limit the amount of time you spend on that kind of stuff so you can concentrate on football? A young Sam Farmer. My guy, he really knows how to play, football is, it's a big part of it. I love the game, so, we're really just working around,
I have been taking, visiting the different teams. I really haven't had too much play, before since being in Phoenix. I have, he has sprinkled a little bit in there, but we have worked out well, having the combination of everything, everything has been smooth.
Hey, Adrian, has the attention you got?
Hollywood image affected on the draft. He probably wasn't as focused on football. You distance yourself from that. When you think about it, our father died, when the poet died, Marshall died, that good job. Good job there, but like I say, that's more important than football. So, that's first thing first. Then everything else comes.
Hey, Adrian, has this attention you've gotten changed your friendships at all? Have there been people that you found you couldn't trust, or has there been behind you solidly? What have you learned from all this about the people you had as friends, both recent and since your childhood?
Well, you really just learn, who your true friends are. And, you really learn who, not your friends. One thing, you definitely pick up your family members.
The distant cousins and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it definitely helped my eyes a lot. To be able to look at things differently. Okay. You're going to realize a lot of different stuff.
It helps have a spiritual center too. Yeah. Helps have a spiritual center too as well.
Oh, yeah.
How much have you paid attention to just the whirlwind of your brothers and things, everything from your college to Brady Kingo, all those different things? How much you pay attention to?
I really don't try to pay attention and all that. But, I'm a sports fan. I watch ESPN. I watch the campus. So, from time to time, it comes up and I catch it. But as far as just sitting there waiting for the phone, making it, I gotta watch this. I gotta see the story. No.
Find yourself yelling at the TV or just talking?
No, not at all. And then when you think about it, how people project I look at it like this. Those people, and people have the analysts and they project it go here and all this. Other top 10, top 5. Those guys are not the ones that's sitting there for hours watching your tape, breaking down your tape, watching, how you move your body, how you get skinny, speaking for a running back, and how you get skinny, and make it to increase your vision, your ability to cut, keep up yards after contact, so they don't do that. You have your head coaches that do that, your acting coaches, when it falls out, those are the ones that's going to sit there saying, and have to make a team for their team. So, you can look at that and get yourself caught up in it, but, you're not doing that, just making, make sure for yourself.
Is there one room?
Yeah. So that was Adrian Peterson, and again, this was the 2007 NFL Draft Luncheon at Chelsea Piers. So it also features, this is Calvin Johnson, Jamarcus Russell. Also have the late Tampa Bay defensive end that passed away, Vernon Golson, if you remember him. Rest in peace. So, that was Zenny 62 Media's third, 2005. That was our third NFL draft. And we're the first to cover with YouTube channel the previous year, 2006. But getting back to the most important subject, which is Adrian Peterson, may Lord bless him and keep him, and the same friends and relatives that were on him before he got drafted. He needs them now. Okay, he needs them now on top of the NFL family to help him go through his twilight years in comfort and style, and with respect and love. That's the way it should be, not seemingly constant reports of trouble. All right. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark NFL News by Zenny62.com, ZennyReport.com, and Zenny62blog.com as well. Thank you.